damn it, who put that up? Is that $200 an hour?
I'm Jose G with Virtual Suplex, and this is our review of WCW Nitro on the Nintendo 64. The thing about wrestling games on the Nintendo 64 is that most of them are good, but not all of them. Originally released in 1998 for both PC and the PlayStation, WCW Nitro would make its way onto the Nintendo 64 in North America by February of 1999. Published by THQ and developed by Inland Productions, it hit the Nintendo 64 after the releases of two all-time classics, WCW vs. NWO World Tour and WCW NWO Revenge. Visually, the game does a great job of really capturing the WCW atmosphere at that time. At the title screen, we're met by the one and only Mean Gene Okerlund, who welcomes us to WCW Nitro on the Nintendo 64. There aren't a lot of game modes in WCW Nitro. We've got a solo tournament mode, one-on-one and tag team exhibition matches, and a battle royal. The tournament mode is how you unlock the additional wrestlers in the game, and this roster is stacked. You start off with 16 of WCW's top stars, with names like Hollywood Hogan, Goldberg, and Diamond Dallas Page. And then there's just Jericho. Guessing there wasn't enough space to put Chris in front of it. In the N64 version of WCW Nitro, notably missing are the wrestler promos on the select screen, which was certainly a highlight in the PlayStation version of the game. Then again, virtually no load times is definitely a fair trade to not have a bunch of additional guys like this on the roster that you'd probably never play as anyway. There are a whopping 48 wrestlers to unlock here on the N64, with a wide range of names. You've got names ranging from Rey Mysterio Jr. and Eddie Guerrero to guys like Bobby the Brain Heenan and Mean Gene Okerlund. Some of the roster additions may be unconventional, but they're undoubtedly fun to play as. And now, you can have those dream matches you've always wondered about. You can even unlock all of the wrestlers in WCW Nitro with a quick code on the title screen, which really is the best code input of any video game because this happens when you enter it.
Oh yeah!
Notably missing from the roster are guys like Ric Flair, who is actually in the PlayStation version of WCW Nitro. Nitro on the PlayStation had actually been released nearly a year ahead of the N64 version, and the Nintendo 64 version actually uses the updated WCW roster that was used in the Nitro's PlayStation exclusive sequel, WCW NWO Thunder. The gameplay in WCW Nitro definitely has its issues. Much like in games like WWF Warzone and WWF Attitude, your offense in WCW Nitro relies on button combos, also similar to fighting games at the time like Mortal Kombat. Although, while you could perform maneuvers both in and out of grapples in games like Warzone and Attitude, there's no grappling in Nitro, just fast button combos to pull off when in close proximity to your opponent. One of the main issues with this is that while the button combos required aren't anything crazy to try and pull off, they feel very unresponsive at times, and it feels like you need razor-sharp precision when trying to execute most moves. Each wrestler in the game also frustratingly shares the same moveset, so no matter what a wrestler's size is, they can pull off press slams to outside of the ring, flying head scissors, and hurricanranas. It seems that the most basic moves like vertical suplexes and pile drivers are relatively easy to pull off compared to other moves in the game. Then again, we can't say that Mean Gene couldn't have pulled off a hurricanrana because we've never actually saw him try, so we'll let this slide. In all seriousness, the animations of the moves are poor too. Everything feels choppy and real sluggish at times. Also, wear a C-band before playing this game so you don't vomit all over your N64 controller and make it a different kind of extreme green. Because the camera movement in WCW Nitro can be all over the place at times, spinning especially bad in one-on-one matches. Aside from all having the same moveset, each wrestler has 3 unique moves that they can pull off, one of which is their finisher. There's also commentary in the game, but it gets repetitive real quick. Our commentary team here consists of Tony Schiavone and Bobby the Brain Heenan, but only consists of Tony Schiavone calling out the names of the moves and Bobby not saying anything at all, aside from likes like, "He kicked out," and "Over the top rope." The tournament mode in WCW Nitro is how you unlock the additional wrestlers, and it's essentially an arcade-style ladder climb to go after WCW's World Heavyweight title. The length on these tournaments, oddly enough, varies based on what group of wrestlers you select from. The initial 16 wrestlers in the game have to go through 10 WCW wrestlers, while the second group has 5 matches, and the final 2 groups only have to go through 3 opponents. Seems like an odd choice. There's also a Battle Royal mode, which is essentially a Royal Rumble with 30 participants. You start with 4 wrestlers and another one comes down when one is eliminated, and wrestlers can only be eliminated by being thrown over the top rope. Much like other wrestling games from this era, there can only be 4 wrestlers in the ring at one time, but the way eliminations work is a bit strange. You're able to leave the ring by going out under the ropes like you can normally in a match like a Battle Royal or the Royal Rumble. But in this, a wrestler can dive from the top rope to the floor and not be eliminated. Then again, a lot of late-era WCW didn't make a whole lot of sense, so this kinda seems fitting. Mil Máscaras would have loved entering this Battle Royal instead. WCW Nitro is far from being one of the worst wrestling games out there, and it's not even the worst wrestling game on the Nintendo 64. Looking at you, Backstage Assault. But it's more memorable for the wrong reasons than it is for fun gameplay. Thanks for watching this review of WCW Nitro for the N64. Make sure to like and share today's video. Smash that notification bell so you never miss whenever we drop brand new content. Make sure to follow us on all of our social media and visit our website at virtualsuplex.com.